Hi. In this video, we are going to learn something about DDL. So DDL stands for Data Definition Language. And this is one of the most important part of SQL commands that are actually divided into DDL, DML, DCL and TCL. So coming to this data definition language, so this data definition language plays a very important role in working with the database objects. So the database objects can be anything like a table, users, views, synonyms, even the objects that are used with PL/SQL like packages, procedures, functions, anything. So any object with which you want to work or you want to work will be created or modified or deleted only by using this DDL commands. That's the reason why it is called as data definition language. So in other words, this is a language that is used to work with the containers of data. So the place where actually the data is stored in the databases. So as I said, the containers can be anything that are listed out here. And coming to the different commands that are part of this DDL language or data definition language, there are only 5 most important commands, of which is create, alter, drop, rename and truncate. So each and every command has its own purpose, its own usage and its own syntaxes. As I told you, all these commands that are used to work with the objects of the database. So coming to this create command. So the create command is the most important and say like a command used to create any kind of database object. The syntax is very simple. If you can just check out the syntax, it says create table schema.table name. That schema says the username, because the tables are created by different users in the database environment. There will not be one single user who will be creating tables. There will be multiple users working on a project creating different tables. So to restrict the tables to that particular user, schema is specified, but it's not mandatory. It's an optional one if you are creating the tables that are going to be used only by you, because while you log in, you give your username and a password, and hence your schema is restricted to US. So that's the first part. And coming to the rules for the table name, there are no specific rules, but the standard rules that are used to create any variable in any programming language. So like the table name can be selected by using any alphabets, numbers and special characters except underscore. So you can give a table name depending upon your usage in a meaningful way. Don't make it a lengthier one or don't make it so short that people cannot understand it. So say employee salary, you can give it as EMP underscore sal, EMP underscore salary or employee underscore sal or employee underscore salary, whichever is convenient to you. And most importantly, the table name cannot be duplicate in a schema. So in a particular user in the database environment, you cannot have 2 tables with the same name, say employee and employee, salary and salary. It's not possible. So if you want to have two tables with the same name, that's impossible, and hence you need to add some change to it. So you can say employee 1, employee 2, or employee underscore sal and employee underscore salary. So there should be some distinction or some difference in the table name. And the second part is that it starts with the round braces, and then you have something called a column name. So as we know, table is a collection of columns and rows. So we are defining the columns and their definitions in this create table command. So coming to that, so the column name has to be defined here, and as I said, the column names can be those names that are related to the table and the data to which you are going to store in it. Say if you are defining a table called EMP, then it means that you are trying to store the data of employees, which will be consisting of the columns or the names related to the employees. Then the most important one is the data type, and which we learned in the last video, which has different data types like numeric data types, character data types, date data types and etc. Depending upon the column name and its characteristics, you define the data type. And constraints are a very common things that are used in SQL in your database management system to specify some rules on the columns. So the constraints can be user defined constraints are predefined constraints. So the predefined constraints like primary key, foreign key, not null, unique can be used, or you can define your own constraints. And the constraints can be either column level constraints or a table level constraints. So it gives us the provision to define any one of the constraint if you want, and it is optional. It's not mandated that every column should have a constraint, and every column should be separated by a comma. So column name, column 1 and column 2 must be separated by comma while defining it as given in the syntax out here. And there is a special create command where you can create even a table by using a subquery. So a table from another table. So that's the syntax. And coming to the example, so as I define it out here, I'm just using one syntax, or I can say like one constraint called a primary key constraint. So the table says the example says create table scott.emp underscore test, employee number of type number, primary key. So employee name varchar 2 of 100, department ID number, salary number, job ID varchar, hire date as date. So and commission as number. So these are the columns that I have created in a table called emp underscore test, which is restricted to the schema called Scott. So nothing but the user called Scott, which is a default user ID in Oracle. So you can create anything other than this also. Say like you can say create synonym name, and then its syntax. Create view name as its syntax. Create user identified by with syntax. So any object is created with only one command called create. Only thing is that this table, nothing but the keyword, changes depending upon the type of the object that you would like to create. So this is the most important command in your SQL DDL commands. Coming to the second command called alter. This is a command that is used very rarely but an important one. So alter command is used to change the structure of a table. Change the structure of a table. So there are different syntaxes and different examples listed out here. The first one says add. So if I create a table with some 10 columns and I want the 11th column to be added after some time, I can use this syntax saying alter table. These are keywords. This cannot be modified. EMP is the table name. Add is once again a keyword. PF is a new column that I would like to add, and its data type is number of 5. So a new column, 11th column by name, PF will be added to a table called EMP. Second one is drop column. So if you want to delete a column, not a table, not a complete table, you just want to delete a column from the table. So you can just do it with this syntax saying drop column name. This is a keyword, it has to be used as it is. And you have to specify the column that you would like to delete. The example says this, alter table, EMP, drop column, commission. So I want to delete the column called commission, I can delete it. And you have a third syntax called rename column. So let us say you are given a column name as a salary and you want to now rename it as a basic underscore sal. So to convert it to basic underscore sal, you have to use this syntax called rename column. So whatever you would like to rename, you need to specify that. So now I am saying alter table name column sal, the old column name, to basic sal, the new column name. And the same with the last one, rename table. So you can even change the table name in the due course. So right now you have created as a emp underscore sal and you thought it is very small and people are unable to get it. So now you can rename it with other name. So I'm changing the emp table into emp underscore details, or I may change it as emp rename to emp underscore personal or emp underscore salary. What are the data that it represents? Based on that, I can add one more word or two words, one score with an underscore. That is the greatness of alter command. So one of the most important commands in DDL. And next one is the drop command, which is I can say like a dangerous command, and hence generally the users will not be given a right to use this drop command. So the drop command is used to delete the whole table, including the data in it. So the whole table structure, the data that is stored in the table, everything will be removed permanently. But you have a chance to roll back only if you have not issued any commit command. If you have issued any commit command, there is no chance to get back the data once it is dropped. So while using this command, try to be very careful. The syntax is very simple. Drop table name. So what are the table that you would like to delete, or whichever the table that you would like to delete, you can just specify the name saying drop table emp. So emp is a table that I would like to remove. And the same kind of a command is present in DDL called as a truncate. It's almost same as a drop command. Then what's the basic difference between these two commands? A very simple difference, and a very important difference to be remembered. If you truncate a table, the data from the table will be deleted permanently, and it can even not be rolled back. So it will not create any kind of a rollback instance if you use a command called truncate. So we should be very careful while using this truncate command also as drop. But in case of drop, as I told you, there are chances to roll back, but truncate will not give you any chance to get the data back. So just be careful and use it only if you really know the purpose of it. And the last command is a simple command called a rename command. So this rename command is used to rename the objects. So in the previous slide, we have seen something called an alter table name. So this alter table name is used to only alter the table. But with rename command, you can alter the names of not of the table, but other objects like synonym, views, or anything which you would like to change. And the syntax is also very simple. Rename old table to new table name. So I'm just giving a simple example. So rename EMP to EMP details. So in the same way, rename something, whatever the object you would like to rename, that object to a new object name. So this will help you to rename the table or any object in the database. So that's something about the DDL, which is the most important one. So in this slide, we have learned something about DDL commands, which play a very crucial role in working with the objects. Thank you.